Greetings, beautiful ones. Come on into the room. I saw first Goddess Helen, Goddess Deborah, and Goddess Ade. So just so that you know, of course, we're going to talk to everybody, but just in case, um, if either of those three goddesses are wanting to go, they will have support first. So welcome. Give me a second. Woo! Okay, there we are. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this session. This is spiritual business support. These sessions are intended to be twice a month support for the done for you products and for certifications. But what I've noticed in the first two sessions that we had, that people were coming to intermittently for both. So we'll just say for either or all of the above. Okay, so I'm excited to see y'all. Hey, family. All right, so let me pull a card. Let me pull a card for us just to get our vibe, get what's going on. I hope things are well in your neck of the woods in New York City, where I am. We are having a warm spell, a warm burst. So that is very exciting to me as
Yeah.
a warm weather human being. Yay. Oh my gosh. And I see my sister, Goddess Nayeni. Oh my gosh, there is my sister from school. Hello, Goddess Nayeni. Happy to see you. Oh my gosh, look at the beauty. The beauty just jumped out on screen. Okay. All right. So here we go. All right, so what do we need to know right now as we are calling in our abundance, as we are claiming our voices, as we are stepping into our power as light workers, as way showers, as human beings who have been given a divine assignment to uplift, to inspire, to empower? What do we need to know right this moment? Okay. Okay, all right. So let's roll with that. Rock with it, lean with it. Oshun of resurrection, rebirth, transformation, and renewal. Rebirth, transformation, and renewal. And I think this is a dual message. This is a message not only for us with the work that you are feeling called to do as a spiritual entrepreneur. Obviously, what you are doing is you are in the transformation business. You are in the rebirth and renewal and upliftment business. But I think that this is also a message for us, of the caretaking of the caretaker's business, of us stepping into our own personal new eras, of us resurrecting and rebirthing ourselves and realizing that, when you do walk this path, that there is rapid renewal and rapid rebirth, and you may feel like you are outgrowing your old self like on a constant basis. I remember a long time ago now, but I remember one of my friends, she said to me, this is like probably like 10 years ago, something I was talking about. I can't remember what she was asking. It was like either like something like a TV show or maybe some kind of food or something, like, oh, do you still like what I'm like? No, that was the old me. I don't like that anymore. I'm not into that anymore. And she's like, well, you sure go through a lot of phases. I was like, you know what, sis? We all do, but some of us are just more aware of it than others. Thank you very much. So here's to the goddesses who go through a lot of phases. Okay, so step on up. Who is wanting to talk about their spiritual business, their spiritual paths? We are also in the energy of the the manifesting business in a box kit is live right now. If you want to get in on the pre-sale of that, I will share the links to that and go through that in a little bit. You absolutely want to get in on it now with the pre-sale, because like with the self-love business in a box kit, now that is twice as much as the initial launch. So you absolutely want to, if possible, get in now. Although, of course, you can get in anytime. All right. So who were our first three goddesses? It was Goddess Deborah, Goddess Helen, and Goddess Ade, I believe. Are either any of the three of you wanting to speak? I see Goddess Ade nodding her head. All right. Come on down, Goddess Ade. Greetings, Ia. not hearing
There it
you.
is. I
There
was
we go.
mute. I had to figure out how to find myself. Um, I've been marinating in the suggestions that you gave me for
Okay.
um, for the book. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm, just thinking about what that would look like as I have also been doing some
Goddess Ade, I'm going to ask you again to
of
please turn,
the textile
turn
work
your
and finding people.
Goddess Ade, if you can, please turn your camera off because I think because I'm getting a bad connection as well. It's a little bit hard to hear you. It's going in and out. Okay. All right. Let's try again.
Okay, can you hear me better now?
Yes, I can. Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay. So listening to what you said, plus my homework, you gave me homework like butterflies, the spiders, just all of this animal spirit stuff just started happening. And so I've been really marinating, and I'm going to write that change in that you told me to put my stories in there. And in that, I've been finding pictures of some of those elders whose stories I've been sitting around listening to. But this is what I really wanted to share. As I
Okay.
got on the bus to go home the other day, I speak to people as I always do. Hello, beloved. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever. And the bus driver looked at me and says, "You looking very radiant today." And I was like, "Oh, thank you. Okay." So as you said, the renewal, the resurrection, it's happening quicker than we sometimes realize. I've
Yes.
been getting these signs that has affirmed the seeds that y'all have sown. So just know that your seeds are being watered
Mm.
by the universe, via people making statements like that, but more importantly, the spirit animals. And the last spirit animal I'm gonna tell you is my fear of spiders. And while I was making an appointment for Sissy today, and they were frustrating me, and I feel something on my leg, and I think it's a fly, but I look down and it's a spider, and I just like, okay, yes, I'm gonna exercise some patience right now. I'm gonna
Mhm.
breathe. I'm gonna do my job of breathing, and I'm gonna be okay. And I'm gonna let this lady do what she do. And that is the first time that I've been able to be still with the spirit of Anasi.
Ah. Oh, that is beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. And you know that Anansi also has that trickster teaching energy. You know that Anansi is a trickster god, a god that, sometimes takes our shadow stuff and puts it in our face to help us to get to where we need to go with like a subtle, like a little, elbow and a smile and a wink when we're seeing and dealing with spider spirit energy. So I think that I love that you receive the message of patience.
Yes.
Yes. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so what are your next steps, goddess?
Um. Now it's time to move into actually doing the editing
Mm-hmm.
and to write out my stories so that I can put them in there.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I'm doing. That's my next step, is to actually start to put it on paper, to take
Okay,
it
so
out of my head and put it on paper. And I, my other assignment was to do my libation video, and I picked the place that I'm going to do that. So you'll be getting that very shortly.
okay, that's very exciting. And I want to just give some guidance, and this is for you and for anyone else who currently is doing a writing project. You want to just be clear that, the creative energy and the editing energy are two different streams of thought. You don't want to think trying to write perfectly or trying to edit or get things right when you're going through that first draft. All right. You want to just in the beginning It's just the spirit of you, just, you and spirit just downloading, the way that the story is coming through you, the way that it's being told, the way that you are feeling called to tell it without the need to fix it, to edit it, to make sure it's working, to make sure it's right. Just get everything that needs to be out first. And
Yeah,
then you can go back and, prune the garden. But this is just, just getting the seeds, planting the seeds, just getting them out there, and allowing yourself also, as you are retelling sections of your life, this is the challenging thing, but to be there, to go back into whatever that energy is and share with us, from that energy what you were experiencing, so that we will, when we're reading your story, when we're reading it, that we will be there as you were.
yeah.
Okay.
And as you were saying that in my head, I was like, consider this like when you do your first draft, when you had to write a paper in school. You taking the information, you writing your rough draft, you just putting it all out there. You got your notes, you got your outline, but right now you just writing. You're not thinking, but you're thinking.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's it exactly. That's it exactly. And you can even give yourself, two layers for that, just playful layer. So there's the layer of just getting the story out, like, okay, here's what happened. And then there's the layer of now you looking back as, the experienced teacher, guide, light worker, looking back and interpreting these experiences now. So, so the experience of who, just from the eyes of, the young woman, the child, the, whomever, what, the wife, the mother, whatever it was, at the time, and then looking back and now saying, okay, you giving the lessons, adding that layer of what what you have now being able to look at those experiences as teachings and sharing with us from that layer. But that's still not the editing layer, that's still not the judging layer. That is you just adding a layer now of the insight layer. And then, after that, then, figuring out the narrative flow and all of those things.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking forward to us getting to bask in your knowledge and your journey.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for stepping up and doing that. We look forward to it. Okay, so let's see. So goddess Deborah, or goddess hello. Okay, goddess Deborah. Hello, goddess Deborah.
Hello, Goddess Abiola. Hello, Goddess Sisters. So I have a lot of things that I wrote down the last time we were together talking about business, and I don't believe that I am in a place. Sometimes I struggle a little bit. This is probably me because I'm not at the point um like opening my shield, opening my door, like business is open, come on in. I'm not at that point.
Okay.
And I'm in a mode of just creating so many things. And sometimes I just feel like, geez, can I just hone in on this? And when I get this place and everything looks good, and then something else comes up, I just have so many ideas. So I am one of the greatest ideas that I think that I have is creating using Napoleon Hill's 6 basic fears, and then I created some feminine fear archetypes,
Yes.
and like 18 of them. And well, it's 6 of them, but each has 3 different layers. And then I created like the empowering archetype to that, so like the sister that's the scarcity, limited, mind thinking sister, and then the abundant, goddess. So there's an empowering shift that I created too. And I'm just really not even sure about like how do you I don't know anything about business. I just don't. I don't know anything about business. I've never had a business. And it's like, how do you even make money from things that you just love to do, which is serving people, helping people. And so yeah, I just don't know. I show up here because this is the place that I'm supposed to be. So I come without any resistance. So that's one thing that I'm doing.
Let me just jump in there,
Okay.
Goddess Deborah. Let me just jump in there.
Thanks.
So two things. So the first is give Goddess Deborah some grace. Can we give Goddess Dr. Deborah some grace? You had a long, successful career of changing lives and empowering human beings and protecting others. And so to come out of that and then be like, well, I don't know why now I can't just pop up with a business out of the blue after having this long, successful career. Like, like have some, like allow yourself just some grace.
Okay.
Allow yourself some grace, okay?
I
Some
received that.
compassion. Yes, some compassion and some grace. And look how the muse is working through you. So then after our beautiful goddess sister says, well, I don't know why I can't figure it out. I just had, an amazing career, an amazing life as goddess Dr. Deborah. Why can't I just get this next thing just popping? Then she says, I don't know what to do. I don't have much going on except for this whole system based on Napoleon Hill, and it's going to take his fears and it's going to reroute it. And it's going to add the feminine and blah, 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 and just spouted off one of the most brilliant things that I've heard all week long. That
Oh,
sounds
wow.
magnificent. And I think that's a book, that's a course, that's a circle, that is a retreat, that is a whole system of transformation that you
Wow.
unveiled in 30 seconds.
Can I just say that those things, I see those things and I feel into those things, and I am not getting caught up in like how it's going to get done, honestly, because I did create a workshop to facilitate, because I just feel like I can just do that so well. And so I applied for this group that everybody sees. And so I was selected to be like one of their retreat facilitators virtually and hopefully in person too, because I love in person. I'm just saying this right here. I've not told anyone. I am just telling you guys, right? Well, we probably are on record but I thought that was something very exciting that I was selected for that. Not in a very
Yes,
humbling way, you know.
Go
I'm
ahead,
very
something.
well, I'm just saying I'm very humble about it. It's not like I was like, wow, I should be selected because I wasn't selected the first time. And then I was like, I'm gonna apply again. They need me. I feel like they need me. Let me apply again. That's what I said. And so yes, I got an email back. So yeah, I just have all of these ideas, and I feel like when I come here, maybe I'm probably not giving myself grace because I'm like, what do I have? I don't have a business to like talk about or anything, but I
Well,
am
now
gonna
you
give
do.
myself
So now
grace.
we can do away with that because now you have a magnificent intellectual property,
Mm.
right? You have an intellectual property. You have your fear-free system trademark, whatever the name of it is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And let's consider this because when you do a trademark, you do, public, they want to see like a public trail of declarations that you are the first person to come up with this. It is here. This is it. It's here. So if anyone is watching this on replay, this is her trademarked intellectual property that she owns. Her
Wow.
proprietary system
That felt so good.
created.
Okay.
Yes. Beautiful.
Okay.
Okay. All right, good. So now let's talk about what this looks like as a business. Okay. And the different ways that this can show up. So there is within this system, let's talk about a book. Let's go through all of the iterations of it because I feel like that would be helpful for everyone here. So
the 12 feminine, the 18 feminine or the 6 feminine fear archetypes that I created.
Yes, the 6 feminine faces of fear.
The 6 feminine faces of fear. I love that.
So there it is. So you could, at its most simplistic level, take each of these fear archetypes using the Napoleon Hill structure and with your intellectual property, the teachings, the lesson, each of those lessons. And then with each of those lessons, add one of your personal stories.
Okay.
And you could, if your sisters here or elsewhere are so bold as to share related personal stories,
Mm-hmm.
here's a personal story, and that's a chapter. There's the lesson, there's your story, there's, someone else who went through the journey, and then here's my advice on what to do next about it.
Okay.
And that's a very simple, easy formula that you could take. And at the end of the summer, if you wanted to write once a week, one of those sections at the end of the summer, or certainly by the end of the year, you could have a book if you wanted to. Okay,
Yes.
so there's that. Okay, and the beauty of that is that brands your system, that locks in your IP, your intellectual property, that then gives you a framework that you could then use to be able to teach to, if people come on your retreats or your events or whatever, they can then be able to have that as a curriculum. Okay?
Okay.
And with or without the book, you have a curriculum that then is easily a digital course or an in-person retreat. So if it is 6 different fears that you are working through, it could be a 6-day retreat. And each of those days, we're going to do a deep dive on one of these fears.
With the 3 iterations, the 3 levels of each fear. Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes.
So it could be that. And if it is a digital course, if it's an online course, it could be that, a same thing, 6 weeks instead of 6 days. You see? And then each of those weeks is a deep dive again into the same teachings. So the same teachings. And what people are going to, the way that people are going to pay you is based on proximity to you, proximity to your teachings is going to determine how much if I am your soulmate client, how much I'm going to invest financially to get these teachings. So if I purchase a book, there's not much barrier to entry. It's a wonderful thing that we can all go and get the book. So that's inexpensive because I can go and get the book. However, if I want to come and spend time with you, so you can teach me directly, whether it is one-on-one or whether it's at a retreat or whether it's at a 6-hour workshop, again, same thing, different iteration, same curriculum. I'm paying for proximity. So an online course is going to have less proximity than an in-person retreat. Therefore, I'm going to invest more to get the teachings from you directly in person versus online. But again, it's the same curriculum. So once you've created this intellectual property and it exists, all you're doing is basically changing the venue. Is the venue you doing an in-person retreat? Is the venue you doing a digital course? Is the venue you doing a workshop? Whatever it is. Venue you doing 6 1-hour workshops once a month. You're showing up and just teaching your way through it.
Okay.
And so it's there. So it's the framework. So you're just solidifying your framework. And then you have your framework, which is wonderful because you're great at frameworks. You can do that. You know that, right? And so then you just take that and just determine, okay, what feels for me like home? For some people, they're going to shine more doing an in-person workshop, right? At a local yoga place or something like that. For some people, they're going to shine more doing a digital workshop. So figure out, or a retreat, so then you figure out with this intellectual property that you have, where do I want to take this? How do I want to work with this? Okay. And a part of that equation is where the people who I want to, meaning you, the people who I want to work with most on this, where are they? So it's like, okay, where are your folks? Where are the people who want to be transformed by this information, who would benefit the most by doing this work on being fear-free?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. based on
Yes.
their age group, their demographic, how they interact, all of those things, where they are, all of those things. Like how are they receiving their intuition, their information and guidance? Because obviously, a course aimed at, my mother's age group is going to be very different than
Yes.
if it was going to be something that,
Okay, well, Corey gonna roll with it.
say again.
I think somebody's not on mute.
Yeah. So yes. So just then deciding, okay, and then so that's your financial exchange right there.
Yes.
People paying to be transformed through you.
Yes.
So they're investing in themselves through you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And the beautiful thing about your system is that it already has proof of concept because you're tied into, you say, Napoleon Hill. So once you say Napoleon Hill, that has, almost 100 years of history of people, transforming their works with one of the best-selling books, self-help books of all time, if not the best-selling self-help book of all time, that's immediate proof of concept.
Yeah.
Right? So you take that and you flex your Dr. Deborah.
Yeah.
Here I am, Dr. Deborah, with Napoleon Hill and this work and my lifetime of experience. Here's what I've learned, and I want to share this with you so that you can learn this. And you're saving people, you're saving us time, energy, emotion. This is healing. This is medicine that people need. This is sacred medicine. And so if folks are willing to invest in going to see Beyonce, which I love Beyonce. I love Beyonce.
Yeah, me too.
Right. But if I'm willing to invest in Beyonce, then certainly I'm willing to invest in myself. Dr. Deborah, to have a life of freedom, a life of at least being on the path of transformation. And the folks who disagree with that, that's okay. They're just not your folks.
Yes, exactly.
Right? So it's okay for the people who are like, well, why would I do that? Why don't I go read Napoleon? Go do that. You should.
Do that, yeah.
Right.
For sure. For sure. I'm with you on that one. I am. Yeah. Yes. I have a question. So so for the certification, this is why we are here. This is why I am here. So thank you. I receive everything that you have said. For the certification that the ancestral oracle certification that we went through, how do we I like to use the oracle decks personally. I use them with other people, like when I'm working one-on-one, and it is so powerful. How do I get the certification? Because I have done a long spread and I recorded it. Do I submit that to you? How do I say, yes, I have the stamp of a certification from your oracle group?
Yes. So for each of the decks, they have different requirements. So just look at, and if you can't find it, I'll send you the direct link. In the last module, in the first and last module of each of the decks, it tells you exactly what the requirements are. So it's a number of case studies.
Okay.
You're going to need to do, and going through, of course, all of the teachings, which I know that you already have. And so just follow exactly whatever it says in there in order to, and then you'll send me those things. And I will.
And it's in the little guidebook?
No. Sorry for being unclear. It's in the lesson, in the course module, in the Secrets of the Ancestors Oracle course module.
Oh, on One Manifesting in the group, in the Teachable. Okay.
Yes. So if you log back in to Secrets of the Ancestors certification course, just log back in there and look at the last module. It has there.
I will do that. Yes. Okay. I did not see that.
Yes. That's okay. And it's in the first section too. And you can also, if you still look and you can't find it, just drop me an email and I'll just send you a direct link. That might be
okay.
Yeah, just drop me an email. I can send you a direct link and all this stuff in there, just explaining just exactly what to submit.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. This is why I'm here.
You're welcome. And let me also add, then you can also either build a practice using the oracle cards by itself, or you can add them to something like, say that if you, when you were talking about your retreats and your courses and your workshops and all of that, you can, in the same way that when you're working with other people and doing readings for them, you incorporate the cards also into any of those other structures that you would be building.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. You
Yes.
are welcome. You're welcome, Goddess. Deep bow
Thank you so much. Yeah.
to you. Okay, Goddess Helen, you are up if you choose to be so.
Hi.
Hello, how you doing?
Oh, I'm pretty good.
Okay, so what
Yeah.
is your mission? Should you choose to accept it, Goddess?
Well, I wanted to share, for sure. And then I learned a lot from hearing other people. I wanted to share two things. One, I was in South Carolina, like at home, visiting some old friends and doing some stuff. And I was in a Airbnb that I had been in previously, and I had my cards.
Uh-huh.
And in the anyway, as I pulled one from African Goddess, it was Oshun. It had the peacock feathers. And then I pulled from Oshun, and then I look in the Airbnb and there were peacock feathers. And I just talked to a friend about, and I was like, and then I realized that like years ago when I first kind of got into you, I'm pretty sure Hay House introduced me in my earballs, and then I sought you out and did Goddess Temple. Um,
Uh-huh.
a buddy of mine was like, I need you to make me a macrame something because I'd made somebody else something, and I'm ADD and it was real hard to do. You know what I mean? Because she told me to, and it wasn't, but I made a peacock feather. That's just what I was putting into the world with.
Going to Red's Hills.
And it's been forever, right? The craziest thing. I sent her a message and I was like, dude, you don't even like, it's just, this has always been, anyway, yellow flowers popping up in my world. Just, and I have this water. There's a source of water in my, there's a little creek. It's actually like a river in our, it's all, it's just always been. And so then another thing I want to share is that we have this dude who has been helping. He put the roof on, he hooked up us getting our air conditioning, all these things for the house. And the air conditioning started leaking water into our ceiling, like above my office area this past week. So we had to have homeboy come back. He had to figure out what was going on. Something was like not working, and it's been a lot, right? And so I said to him, he's a Jesus person and he's a Holy Spirit person. And so I looked at him and I was like, I think everything means something. I believe we are always being talked to, whether we listen or hear it or not, is on us.
Yeah.
And I was like, so since we got to this house, there's been water. Like there was plumbing issues. There was like the roof leaking water onto us. I was like, dude, you fix my roof. I have water coming in my ceiling right now. He turned to me and he just looked and he was like, all I can think, Helen, is overflow. And I put my hands up and I was like, I accept that. Well, then the storm came, hail, water flowing through the bottom of my house, under, not in my, but like, it was insane. These men were just working through it. Water coming in the windows of where I sleep. When homeboy came back yesterday to finish up the fixing, I was like, so just overflow upon overflow. Like, anyway.
No, thank you for sharing that. Whenever there is a preponderance of like water and plumbing things happening, it also is emotional overload, like unexpressed emotions. Like we're having, yeah, like plumbing things and water coming, like, that it's coming from everywhere else if it's and it because it's not coming from, the humans often. Something just to look at, something just to look at. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I feel like I've been through a season of grieving, not in the not so distant past. And maybe it's in the home, or maybe it's because this is a place for some of that for release, like that's what's meant to come here. Yeah. But I do remember having a moment where I was very crying all the time, a year or two, and I realized that there was so much of my life that I had not grieved.
Yeah.
And that I got to just spend a year or two grieving. My lungs hurt at the time. There was so much just, you know, but
Yeah.
I can breathe now, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so is this gentleman, is he able to help support you? Is he going to be taking care of those physical plumbing things?
He has oh. Yeah. My husband can do a lot, but he's just so busy. He doesn't want to do that in this house. He doesn't want to do those things. So we found this man. He's cheaper than anybody else. We need to get a dishwasher because it's been me and I'm over it. Like I'm so, you know. And he was here yesterday and I was like, okay, so do you cost less than a plumber's we had at the beginning? And he was like, absolutely. We'll get your dishwasher in. Anyway, yes. Not only is he taking care of me, but he's taking care of my mama because she's moved to this state too and he's been
Yeah.
taking care of her. So like it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Okay, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to also make sure that you are, so going back into just looking at the season of grief that you went through, because grief lingers in unexpected ways and pops back up in unexpected ways. And maybe just give yourself, just even if you feel like, okay, I'm done with it, I've dealt with it, it's over, it's just give yourself an 8-day grief healing respite, whatever that involves, just allowing yourself just to deal with any unexpressed emotions, and maybe just journaling and just let's just close up some of those drains, heal some of those drains that way.
Heard.
Okay, so like a grief healing personal and private retreat. You can just pull your cards every day, walk every day, journal every day, and just, cry if you can. Just get it, just get it out, get it grounded, and just deal with it on that level to supplement the other. Okay?
Oh, hang on.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does that feel for you?
It feels good. It feels good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let us know like how that part of it goes. Yes, somebody said a season of release. Yes, yes, yeah. Because especially, as a mom and as a wife, it would make sense that, a lot of times we feel like we have to rush grief or rush, whatever, like I got to get back to my life. I got to, just get back okay for not for me, for the kids, for whomever, I got to just get okay and it's still there. It's still in your body. It's still in the bones. And there are certain kinds of grief that never leave, but you want to just make sure that it's integrated and healed and whole for you. Yes. Okay. All right. Okay, good. Okay, good. Thank you, Goddess Helen. Okay, Goddess Nayeni, are you still here?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, so Goddess Nayeni, come on down and let's talk about your spiritual business magic that you're going to be making. Wait, let me find you on my screen. There you are. Hey, girl. What's up, sis?
What's up, sis? So basically what I'm doing is a membership club. This is what I'm creating. It's finished an accelerator where I created a framework, but I get into the details of what happens like when you get in there.
Okay.
And those day to day. So what I did was I got the self-love in the box.
Okay, good.
Those 3 sets to start to see. And what I'm doing is like I've written down like everything I know I want in there before I dive into reading through everything, so I can know, okay, this is what I have and what I know my idea is, and what's the complementary thing that I'm bringing in.
Yes, that's smart.
It's done for you, and to see how it works because it's so robust what you've done. So I know that I'll be able to build it out in the way that I want to, and really just bring my ideas together.
Okay, this is very exciting. Okay, so is this going to be a year-long membership or an ongoing open-ended membership or for a shorter period of time?
So my thought is right now is to, first of all, once I get it to a point where I'm like, okay, I can share this with other people to bring them in, is to do a test cohort for 90
Mhm.
days
Mhm.
and get that feedback and then revamp whatever I need to revamp. But I'm thinking you're going to come in quarterly. So there's going to be a setup so that it's not any old time. It's like we want to be prepared for you to come in and
Mhm.
be able to support you in what it is that you're want to achieve.
Okay, and so will you be giving people new content within this container weekly, monthly, or they come in and it's all there, or how is that going to work over the 90 days?
So the way I see it is more of sections. So there's going to be different sections, like a 21-day section where you're focused on one thing, and then the next 21 days you're focused. And then in the end, you're bringing it all together at the end of the 90 days.
Mhm.
And if you
Okay.
re-up and decide to stay, that means you're working on something else. And maybe you go back and start at the beginning for this new thing this new goal that you want to hit. Because the point is that you're making whatever lifestyle changes you need to make
Mhm.
and getting quicker to the next decision to get to what you want to do. Um,
Mhm.
so my overall focus when I first started this was just to focus on getting people to exercise. People who are either not exercising or who want to exercise. So that's definitely going to be a part of it. But I know people want more than that. And I really just want to build it out. So it's something that's simple for you to do every day once you get committed, but you can also build your commitment, which is why I think 90 days is good because some people want to do something every day and some people be like, you know what, I only had one day this week, but we can still
Yeah.
hold space for you and support you as you build up to what you need to do for yourself.
I
So
love.
it's it's still coming together. Um, but yes.
No, I think that that is really, really smart. And I think that one of the things that may be really strong for you is using the challenge that is in the self-love business in a box part.
Okay.
Use the challenge and building the challenge. Maybe that can even be your point of entry, you know? So maybe it's a challenge that people do that you either use for people to sign up, or when people do sign up that you use to integrate them into the ecosystem of what you're doing. So the way that that could work is if it's a challenge that you're doing that is going to get people to be used as a sign up vehicle, it can either be free or it could be a low cost challenge. And I would recommend, being that you're doing fitness, which is high demand, I would say, you know, doing it for a low cost or a cost period rather than it being a free thing. So it can be, maybe it's a three-day free challenge and then people can upgrade and do it for 21 days more, or 7 days free, and then they can, you know, do 21 days more, and then from there upgrade into the whole community. Something like that might be a way to go. And so building the fitness on top of the self-love component, I think will be really, really powerful and make you stand out in the space. And I think that that to me sounds like that could be very, not only very transformational, but very lucrative for you as well. What were you thinking would be your way to bring people in, your vehicle for bringing people in?
I think to start, I would be asking people that I know,
Mhm.
just to give me that focus group,
Mhm.
to go through the challenge because everybody I know, they want to do something that's next for them. So people who could commit, because I think it's really important for it to be that 90-day start time. And I get what you're saying with the 3-day challenge, because I think that might work when I'm starting with people I don't know,
Mhm. Mhm.
to bring them in. But I just figured I'd start with people I know, either directly or tangentially,
Mhm.
to ask them to be a part, to see if they can commit for the 90 days. And, you know, be ready and willing to commit to their change for that period.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea, especially if have you done any other memberships before, or is this the first one?
I've done smaller things where it's like maybe 20 people and
Mhm.
we're talking, or 5 to 20 people where we're discussing specific things. But nothing like this where it's like, we're going to take you on a journey of
Mhm.
transformation. So this is definitely new.
I think that if you're willing to, I
Yeah.
think that you can start with people you know, but because you do have experience, I think that you can, maybe for a lower beta, lower cost beta amount, I think that you can also open your doors to general public. Also, if they're wanting to come in and understanding that this is, a test run, but I would like them to invest still, so that that they will show up and that there's skin in the game. And even for the folks that even if it's a $1 investment, whatever it is, I think that always having folks invest something, so that they are putting in something, so that they are going to show up, because life is busy. 90 days is still, it's a long time, which is what is needed for this transformation. Like, we know that it's a very short period of time, but it's also a relatively long period of time in
Yeah.
terms of people's commitment levels and all of that. And this is very valuable, what you're going to be creating. And so I think, whatever the cost is, $97 is not a lot to invest for a 90-day transformation, experience, whether they're people that you or not. I don't feel like you're asking too much if you were to ask that amount, or even 197.
Yeah, I've sort of been between those two price points, because I really do have to figure out what all my costs are, especially with what the tech stack's going to be and where we'll be our home online, that I will be paying for. But also I figured that what I'll do is, once I get through all the kinks, I would offer whoever came first a certain price for 12 months join that was lower than what the new people would pay.
Okay, so
But they
they
would still be paying like somewhere between, like what you're saying, 97 to 197, like somewhere in there. I think I have to be just to just baseline costs.
Okay, so, and they would be grandmothered into the 1 year experience
They would be grandmothered in at that price.
at that price. Okay, and is that a price for a 90-day container, or because you're now talking about a year long?
I think what I would do is give them whatever that 90-day container is. I'd say you'd pay this 4 times to
Okay.
stay for the year.
Okay, so that makes sense. But here's where I want you to I want to kind of get you to raise your expectations for you and the gifts that you're putting forward. Because
Okay.
right now it sounds like you're kind of bare knuckling it when you're talking about meeting your costs, and I've got to add up my costs and by the skin of my teeth, hope that they can pay to keep the lights on. Like, that's not the energy we want. That is not how we want to go. We don't want to go, gonna put it, we all gonna, let's go 5 on some fitness. No, no. This is amazing what you're offering. This is incredible. I need this. A lot of us need this. We need this. This is beautiful what you're offering. And so it is not the energy of, let me see how much this is going to cost and then everybody can chip in. No, they can show up and invest in themselves in this beautiful opportunity that you're giving to us to be better, to take care of ourselves, to make sure that we're here for a better future. And so you determine for us as our leader in this container, just tap in and see what Spirit is telling you this experience will cost. Not from an energy of nickel and diming it, from an energy of, as Goddess Helen was talking about, the energy of overflow, from the energy of overflow. Yes, this is magnificent. You're giving us an opportunity. The beta people who are going to show up, the beta users, even if they've known you for a million years, they're not coming through you don't want to approach them even from the point of view of, come and help me out and hook a sister up and take my course and give me some feedback. No, I have this amazing transformational system, and how awesome that I am giving you the opportunity to come and be a part of this for a lesser price than it's going to cost in the future, a lesser investment for 90 days. And, that you can experience this transformation with a community, with you as a teacher, with, the lessons that you came to share, with the self-love curriculum. Like, this is amazing. So you want to come from that. You want to come from that, and that is going to determine the people who sign up for it. And that's going to determine too their excitement level, whether they know you or don't know you. This is valuable. You are valuable. You are brilliant. Please, I've known you for a million years. You are a brilliant, wonderful sister. Blessings on whoever has the wherewithal to cross your path and have the gift to be able to sign up and work with you. My goodness. How lucky for them. How lucky for them. So you want to come from that energy. You want to come from that energy, from the enthusiasm of that energy. Enthusiasm means, entheos, the energy of God, the energy of enthusiasm. That's where you want to come from, the brilliance of that. Like, wow, you're going to come into this container, and I'm not going to be, this is not your mama's fitness. That's your tagline, right? This is not your mama's fitness. We're not going to come in here from a point of view of shame, of blame, of you should have, you would have, you would have, it doesn't matter. We all have a past. You're starting from today. And today I am telling you that your life is worth living, and you have a wonderful human body, but you only get one. And let's make sure that for the rest of your life, that it is what you need it to be. And so when you come into this container, we are going to, yes, we're going to take care of the fitness. We're going to talk about your food, your workouts, your whatever, but that's the easy part, because we're also going to work on your self-worth. Yeah. We're also going to work on your self-love. And that's what distinguishes this experience. And for the very low investment of X, Y, and Z, you can come and we can have this experience together. 90 days is going to pass by no matter what. Are you going to be the same at the end of it, or are you going to be different? You're determining that by you signing up for this. You see? So It's not what's the cost of them signing up for it. What's the cost of not? What is the cost of not taking this journey? What is the cost of saying exactly the same? And in 90 days, when everyone who's in this container is now in a different place, and you're in the same place, what's the cost of that? What's the cost of your children and your loved ones and whomever possibly losing you because you are not wanting to grow and evolve? So that is what you want to speak into. This is a gift that you're offering us. So you come from that energy. Yes. And you see, it's a different vibration. It's a different vibration. Like, I'm looking at your face, and vibrationally, you're in a different place than when you were on the Hook a Sister Up vibe. Right? So it's not that vibe. It's the vibe of, oh my goodness. The excitement that you have in creating what you have created. That's what you want to then give to us, and give it to us in the energy of, let's go ahead and make it 197, so that you're not nickel and diming and figuring it out and white knuckling it, which again is still a very small number to invest to get healthy. This is magnificent. You're welcome. You're welcome. So let's come up with some action steps. What is the intended launch of this system, this membership?
So it would be within 3 to 6 months.
Okay. Let's come up with a more solid number.
Okay, so basically what I've done is, like, I'm writing out my calendar every couple of weeks to see what I have to get done. Okay. So that's why I've been using 3 to 6 months, because I know that by the fall, I want to be in that place where it's just like, okay, now I know the exact date, just everybody can come. Whereas I've already done my focus beta people and have revamped by then.
Okay, so you're looking at the beta folks starting in the fall, or starting when
I want to do the beta within the next 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
So that by the fall, it's like, okay, I've gotten all the feedback and I've revamped whatever I need to revamp, and can put it out to the world at large.
Okay, so that is very soon then, because if it's a 90-day cycle,
Yeah.
right? So, if we looked at even like June, July, August, that's a month from now. So
Yeah.
are you wanting to start a month from now?
I would say it's probably not a month from now. It's probably going to be more midsummer.
Okay.
But I'm trying to write out everything so that I know, because I want to know what I'm saying, what is happening, like when you get there, like, like this is what happens when you
Yes.
show up.
Okay, so one of the things that may be helpful is to think about, people's natural cycles.
Yes.
So knowing that, okay, September is a great time to start something like this because people are in the back to school movement, area. Like it's the energy we all have. Like, okay, September, I'm starting again. It's after the summer. I'm going to do something. So September is a great energy and a great time to begin, like feel like, okay, I'm going to begin something new. Summertime, depending on what it is that you're doing, if you're going to use the summer and say, okay, we're going to do outside workouts, or I don't know, like however it's filmed, like maybe there's outdoor workouts and stuff like that. If it's going to happen over the summer, you have to use the idea of the summer as a part of
Can I
it.
get your call back into class?
Okay, you want to use, everybody mute yourself, please. You want to use the idea of the summer as a part of it. Otherwise, it's going to be hard to hold people's attention throughout the summer. Okay, so you want to just look at that. One of the things that also may be easier, I know you are meticulous about what you're doing, so you're wanting to take them through the 90 days, but the beta could also be a 40-day process. The beta doesn't have to be the whole 90 days. It could be a month-long part of it or something like that. It could be a shorter portion that you then are able to then take the information and regroup and then go into the cycle, the full cycle afterward. So I would suggest maybe strongly looking at that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and then let me add this. So since you have self-love business in a box and all of the related things around that, one of the things that you can do right now just to start to get people on board and building your energy around this is just start sharing the social posts, start sharing, get one of the workbooks and, put one of the workbooks maybe out there either for sale or as a free offering, I would suggest. Get one of the, look where it says opt-in workbooks and take one of those workbooks branded as your own and just start giving that out as something for free while you're sharing that this is coming up so that you are building an audience that is interested in transformation going forward. Okay?
Yes, thank you.
You are welcome. You're welcome. I'm excited to see what you do, Goddess Nayeni. I'm so proud of you. I love you.
Me too.
Yay. Okay. Let me see if we have time for one more. Let me see, we have 2 minutes. Okay, so let's see if we can do one quickie. Do we have time for a quickie? Anybody? Okay, I'm seeing Goddess Sana. Come on down, Goddess Sana.
Hello, everybody. This has been so wonderful. All the information that you shared, I've been taking notes. It's been really good because I was planning on starting the a group coaching circle based on my deck. I was planning on starting in June, but you're right. Summertime is not a good time for people to have to commit because they have vacations and all that other stuff. The reason I was talking about June is because I had a couple of people come to me who wanted me to mentor them and wanted to do workshops or something with me. And I wasn't, and so I want to help and serve, so I'm trying to figure out how to do that. And the same thing locally, there are people who wanted me to mentor them. And so instead of mentoring for free, because my time is what I have to offer, I suggested that we put together a coaching program and find a grant for it. So I'm working on that, and I wanted to just say that I did order my deck through Vervante. I got the order is in, got it edited, ready to go, got the PDF edited. And so when people have, bought the deck and, I send the edited PDF. And so now I'm into the new iteration of the deck. That's really what I wanted to say.
Yay. Okay, say the name of the deck so that folks can get it.
African Starseed Oracle deck.
Yes, the African Starseed Oracle. This is very exciting. Okay, good. Now with Vervante, did you, because I can't remember if we talked about the fact that Vervante will let you add other things to your shipment, your box that you send out. Like, like say, I'm just making this up now. Like if you wanted to add a feather to each person that was receiving, did you add anything extra to it? Because I think that's a feature that you should take advantage of if possible.
Do you? Okay. Because what I'm doing is just the custom tuck box and the
Yeah.
deck, and then I'm going to email the booklet. So I'm
Yeah.
not printing the booklet to save on costs.
Yeah.
I guess I could think of something. I probably could.
How about a seed? A seed.
A seed would be
A
nice.
seed from the plant of your choice that feels relevant and spiritually aligned to your deck. So it could be a mustard seed. It could be a High John the Conqueror seed, right? So you think about what seed feels that let your deck tell you this is the seed that is relevant. Oh, I'm getting chills. This is very exciting. And so that's something that's very small that wouldn't add a lot of costs for you on your end. And what you would do is ship like that in bulk, like, a bunch of the seeds to Vervante, and they can add one of those, like say it's in a little like tiny, like those little teeny tiny like jewelry Ziploc bags,
Mhm.
and they can add that to each thing because it's the African Starseed deck.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great idea.
So I think that, so figuring out, okay, well, what is the African Starseed? Which seed you want to represent the Starseed? We are the African Starseed, right? But which
Exactly.
you want to represent that? And it could be that it's, I think that because I like High John the Conqueror, but you figure out what's calling you forward and add the seed. I feel like that would be very powerful and a very unique experience for people who then are receiving your deck.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
And I'm glad you went with the choice for the downloadable deck. That is excellent.
Yes.
I mean
Yes.
the downloadable guidebook. Yes.
Yes, and having heard what you said to Goddess Deborah, I had been thinking about this, but it's like you expanded my perception of what can be built around the deck, through the deck, and how people can learn from it. So this has been a great session.
Yay. Oh, wonderful. I'm so excited. Congratulations, Goddess. So yes, so everyone, so these sessions are every other week to Manifest Your Magic Moon Circle. So if we didn't get to you today, then the next business session is not next week. Next week is Manifest Your Magic Moon Circle. So next week is Spiritual Circle, and then the week after that is the next Business Circle. So just let me know in chat at the top of that session that we didn't get to you this time, and so that you're at the top of that. And also the way to be able to go early in these is just to arrive early, because I usually see the first people that I see, and they're usually able to go first. Okay. And manifesting business in a box kit right now is on launch sale. The price is going to go up in about a week. Today, yeah, in about a week. Okay. So, and there are sales payment plans on the page. There are payment plans on the page that are supported by Affirm, Klarna, and Afterpay. If you are either in a country where that is, doesn't show up for you, or if for whatever reason you're not able to do that, just let me know and I will figure out a payment plan for you. So Goddess Pamela is saying which one would work for me. Let me think. I'm thinking self-love or the manifesting. You could, Goddess Pamela, with the things that you're doing, really go with either one. I feel like because you have such a wealth of the things that you bring to the table. I would say go for the manifesting right now. I would say go for the manifesting now, and then you could always add the self-love components afterward. Okay. All right. Okay, my beautiful goddesses, thank you so much for showing up and with your beautiful energy and enriching each other as a circle. And I will see you, well, I will see y'all tomorrow probably on YouTube, but I will see you in this container soon. Bye, my loves.
Goddess Abiola.
Yes.
Before you go, this is Shireen. I sent you an email about the Oshun's era class that I have, the modules. I need a link sent for the payment.
Okay. So let me see. You sent, let me just make sure because I didn't see that. When did you send that?
I want to say I think I sent it over the weekend.
Okay, let me just look and just make sure I have that and didn't go to some weird place. Ah, okay, I see you. Okay, you need a second payment link. Okay, I will send that to you. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Goddess. Like your
Okay.
shirt.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.